AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal.
Hi and welcome on to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. Brought to you today by Rocket Mobile. Don't forget, you can get 20 gigabytes of data, of roaming in the EU, anywhere in the EU with Rocket Mobile. Unlimited calls, texts, and data for only £16 a month. No contract. All you got to do is click the link in the description or scan the QR code, get more details on it. You don't have to change your telephone number as well if you don't want to. So if you want to get involved, do that right now. A thoroughly depressing morning if you are an Arsenal fan. I've already been getting stick left, right, and centre. Here's what happens when you lose to a team like Manchester United. I've been getting it in the neck. And listen, you can't blame them. It was a good performance by Manchester United, but equally a very poor performance by Arsenal. No excuses can be made for that performance in such a big game. We quite frankly just didn't turn up, despite going 1-0 up, controlling the game for about the first 25 minutes or so. And then after that, just mistake after mistake after mistake. And United deserved their win. They were the better team. They produced moments of quality. They scored great goals. Listen, they only really had 3 sort of real big shots on goal, and they scored all of them. Arsenal were just so bad. And the thing about it, all right, listen, a lot of the mistakes I felt were, the midfield were just not at it yesterday. Just made so many mistakes which led to Manchester United goals. But also, equally, we just didn't seem to have it in the attacking areas. You know what I mean? Apart from, say, Saka was a little bit of a threat, nobody else was. Trossard wasn't good enough. Jesus wasn't good enough. We made changes. It made no impact at all. And what it is, I was looking this morning at a damning stat. Let me just get it up on my phone, right? I didn't even want to bring this up again, but I have to, right? This is dreadful when you look at Arsenal this season. Bukayo Saka, no goals in the last 13 games in all competitions. Victor Gyökeres, no non-penalty goals in the last 11 Premier League appearances. Gabriel Martinelli, no goals in the last 13 Premier League appearances. He's been good in the Champions League, but in the league, awful. Noddy Madueke, no goals in the last 25 Premier League appearances. And Leandro Trossard, 1 goal in the last 11 appearances in all competitions. We're not scoring enough goals. Now, is that down to the players, the personnel? Or is it down to the style of play? That's another debate. But those forward players are not scoring enough goals. And yes, we've been getting goals from set pieces. Yes, we've been getting goals from different people around the pitch. That's fine. And it's all about just winning the league. But are we scoring enough goals to win the league? We've seen City go and strengthen by bringing in Semenyo, who was like the 3rd top scorer behind Haaland in the league, and they're scoring goals. They might not be able to defend very well, but they score goals. And could that ultimately cost us the league? And should we go and do something about that this January transfer window? And who is available? I mean, there's been all the talk about Julian Alverez that I've been talking about on the show over the last few days, where we've been heavily linked. But that seems to be more something that, if it does happen, will be more in the summer. I mean, Diego Simeone was asked about it in his press conference ahead of their game against Mallorca, which they won, and Alvarez didn't score in that game, but he was asked about it, and he was like, seriously? No, we're not looking to sell him. You know what I mean? He sort of batted away any sort of shouts of selling Julian Alvarez. Definitely not going to go this January transfer window. If he does go, we're more looking at a summer move. And a lot of the players that have been getting linked to Arsenal this January transfer window, a lot of them look more realistically like they could happen in the summer. But what are those forward players that have already been sort of even been linked with Arsenal that Arsenal could go and get right now. I mean, I'm not even going to mention players like Yildiz and that who scored yesterday. I think he scored a couple. Those moves, if anything, if at all possible, are more summer. Who realistically could we buy this January transfer window to get us over the line? And I've taken a look at some of the players we've been linked to. Jan Diomonde, 19-year-old. He's at Leipzig. He's been having a fantastic season. Looked good at AFCON as well. Exciting player. Plays on the left wing where we're seemingly not producing enough goals. More threat on the right than the left. But if we want to get him this January transfer window, and I don't think it's impossible, it would take a big offer in excess of £80 million. Is he worth that? Is he worth that? He's seen as one of the top prospects in European football. He's exciting. He's quick. He's fast. He's got in product. Should Arsenal be saying, right, to get us over the line? Because how big would that be to get us over the line? Just go all in and get him. Then there's Karim Adeyemi. He's been linked with Arsenal since the start of this transfer window. We know that he wants to leave the club. His missus wants him out. We saw these rumours where he wants to go to, or she wants to live in a more glamorous city. Well, I've been to Dortmund, and no disrespect to Dortmund. It's a fine footballing place, but it's not as glamorous as London. So if he wants a glamour spot, should Arsenal be going in to try and get Karim Adeyemi? 23 years of age, experience. Predominantly a right winger, but can play on the left wing. Quick as anything. A realistic player that Arsenal could possibly get this transfer window should Arsenal try and get Adeyemi in. There's other players. Adeyemi Lookman is another player that Arsenal have been linked with his transfer window. Free scoring player, can play as a second striker, can play left wing, right wing, anywhere across that forward line. He had a decent AFCON. Hasn't been lighting it up this season, but over the past couple of seasons, he's been known to score a lot of goals. Famously scored a hat-trick in the Europa League final, scores a lot of goals. Remember, he grew up in South London. He'd relish the chance to play in the Premier League. Wouldn't be too expensive either to buy. Atalanta are looking to move him on now. 28 though, but could he be a player that could get Arsenal across the line? Could he come in from now till the end of the season and bag, say, 5 to 8 goals, which is a sort of return we could do with right now? Should Arsenal be looking at a Lookman before the end of the transfer window? That would be a realistic signing. Etta Eyong's another player that's been mentioned. Spoke about him a couple of days ago. Having a great season. Strong, powerful, pacey, quick. Has been scoring goals. 6 goals, 3 assists this season. Wouldn't be too expensive. Wouldn't necessarily be the easiest to get away because, they'd rather sell him in the summer. But should Arsenal make a move for him? Or is it about going and getting more established players? Rodrygo from Real Madrid. Again, not immovable in my opinion. Wouldn't be easy, but he's not getting the game time at Real Madrid. Didn't play in Real Madrid's game over the weekend. He was an unused sub in the game against Villarreal. Top left winger. Would be expensive, without a doubt. I mean, he's valued at around about 60 million now, but to get him away in January, you're talking probably 75, 80 million. But if he came in and made an impact, and he's a player that would be here long term, would it be worth doing? He may be open to a move if Arsenal went in hard for him. Should Arsenal be going in to try and get Rodrygo, saying to him, listen, you're going to come in, you're going to play regular. You've got a chance to get yourself back into the Brazil squad. Would love to hear from you guys. And the last one I want to mention is Brahim Diaz. He famously, missed that Panenka to mess up Morocco's chances of winning AFCON. But he was the top goal scorer at AFCON. And he is a goal-scoring, attacking midfielder, right winger. We're struggling in that area at the moment. And he can, as I said, he can play right wing, he can play left wing, attacking midfielder, second striker, and he scores goals. As I said, top goal scorer at AFCON, has scored goals for Real Madrid over the years, again, a bit part player, came on for like the last 10 minutes in Real Madrid's game the other night. There were these rumours at the start of the transfer window that Arsenal had put in a bid of £43 million for him. Nothing else has really surfaced since then. It was just rumours at the time. Should Arsenal be trying to go in and get somebody like Ibrahim Diaz to get us over the line? There are players available and out there. Won't be easy, none of them. They'll be expensive. But is it worth it if it gets Arsenal over the line? Would love to hear from you guys today. Let me know in the comments. Really want to hear from you. Which one of those players do you think? And I've just listed players that I think are either realistic or semi-realistic for this January transfer window. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your Monday. Don't think about football for today. Just take it out of your mind. Think about something else. Do something else, right? For Monday, Tuesday, then we got a game on Wednesday, and then hopefully it's out of our memories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Travelling to away games has never been easier, especially with Rocket Mobile.
Unlimited data, unlimited everything in the UK. When you leave the UK, it's 20 gig of roaming data. Life is very easy.
£16 a month, no hassle.
How you doing?
You're doing all right. And this is what you get in Europe.
I know. Come on, the others.
Come on, like,
Thank you so much. Leave you the man.